3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Monday installment of We Talk. I'm Yolanda Nel. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. We have a lot to look forward to this week. Please stay tuned for our interview. Heading over to our website for some news. NAMPOL warned businesses and banks to be extra vigilant for criminal syndicates involved in defrauding and stealing from shops and banks across the country. In a media statement, the NAMPOL spokesperson, Deputy Commissioner Kauna Shikwambi, said some of these suspected to be operating the syndicate have been arrested. NAMPOL is warning businesses, banks as well as the general public to be extremely cautious and vigilant, moreover to report any suspicious occurrences in the environments to the police. Namibia's reigning Miss Supranational Shanique Rabie jetted off to France on Saturday, where she will be attending the MIPCOM 2021, the world's largest television market. Shanique made her first appearance on the pink carpet on Sunday evening for the world premiere screening of Around the World in 80 Days. She will also be having a special photo call at the harbour station and visit all the television content stands later this week. She will also be presenting a Diversify Award for the 5th annual edition of these awards. The Diversify TV Excellence Awards were created in order to recognize, champion and celebrate diversity, equality and inclusion in television programming from around the world. According to Shanique, she is excited to be going on her first official international trip as Miss Supranational. What a better way to do this than this event, which will be an experience that will help her learn and grow. Presenting such a prestigious and meaningful award is such an honor, especially because she is from a diverse nation where people live together in harmony. Recon Africa denies that it is now allegedly trying to bribe community leaders with favors and gifts in the form of social assistance to support their search for oil in Namibia's Kavango region. Allegedly, the George Muyoka Conservancy was asked to compile a list of community members who needed help. According to a source, a similar request was made in another conservancy. Recon Africa's project manager at Rundu, Mundu Kasira, declined to comment on the allegations, although his office staff told the newspapers that he was the right man to talk to. Kasira quickly cut the conversation short and said the spokesperson would be able to provide further information. During another visit to the area, several community members, especially women working in the field, expressed concern about the fact that many politicians are putting pressure on community leaders to smother all opposition to oil exploration. Some community members insist they were only briefed on the seismic survey and how it works afterward. Representatives from 3 different conservation areas said the community was constantly changing their meeting spots. This was clearly done to prevent them from attending the sessions and airing their grievances. Good news for the tourism industry is that the UK has removed Namibia from the so-called red list, which will ease travel. The travel easing is effective as from Monday the 11th of October. The red list placement meant that people from the UK were banned from travelling to Namibia. It also meant that anyone travelling from Britain to Namibia faced a mandatory 10-day quarantine when returning home, even if they were fully vaccinated and tested negative for coronavirus, which is detrimental especially to Namibia's tourism sector. The decision taken by Britain came after the Ministry of International Relations engaged the High Commission of the United Kingdom in Windhoek, while the High Commission of Namibia in London also engaged at all levels with the UK government on this issue. They argued that consideration should be given to the fact that the curve of infections in Namibia is clearly flattening. According to MICRO Executive Director Pendananda, the onus is now on Namibia to demonstrate that it is a safe country to travel to, a task which the Namibian tourism sector as well as Micro has taken to heart.
Strike it gold and win 5,000 Namibian dollars in cash with Neo Paints. Simply buy Neo Paints products from the selected range and stand a chance to get one of 12 mystery buckets filled with gold paint. All 12 winners will each get 3 extra paint buckets equal to their purchase. One to replace the gold paint, the second to use on your project, and the third to give to a charity of their choice. One winner can score another 10,000 Namibian dollars by showing us your creative use of the golden paint. The best project wins the cash. Offer is valid from 27 September to 18 December at your favorite hardware store nationwide. Visit us at neopaints.com for more competition details and follow us on Facebook for weekly competition updates. Neo Paints, a coat of excellence.
Heading over to our website for some news. Nampo warned businesses. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am joined with Rachel and she's from the GIZ, and today we are talking inclusivity.
Yes.
Rachel, does disability affect Namibians?
Oh yes, it definitely does. I mean, just like every person all over the world, is affected by disability. So the way we know that disability affects Namibians specifically is because of the data, which is gathered. And in 2016, there was this disability report by the NSA with data from the National Population and Household Census. And in that report, it stated that around 100,000 people do have certain types of disabilities in Namibia. Wow. And from those 100,000, around 52,000 are women with disabilities.
Sure.
And 48,000 are men with disabilities. And from the entire population, around 5% of people do have a disability within the country. But then, of course, we also know that disability does have or does negatively impact the lives of persons with disabilities. Just to mention just a few statistics again from that report, it stated that over 5,000 children with disabilities between the ages of 0 and 4 years old do not even attend early childhood development programs. Yeah. And around, what was the other one? 82% of persons with disabilities who live in the rural areas, mainly in the northern part of Namibia, they have not received any formal types of education, which of course negatively will impact their lives, because if you don't have a proper education, it will be difficult to really get proper employment. Meaning that you are already at the lower scale, you will face definitely poverty. And also around 0.4% of persons with disabilities have employment in Namibia, formal employment.
Sure.
Only 0.4% formal employment.
And the thing is, we have to start at the ground level. We have to start with early childhood development. Because if you don't start there, you're never going to catch up. On that note, what can businesses do to make sure that just entering their premises are more accessible?
Businesses, especially those who cater towards the public sphere, definitely they need to make sure that their infrastructure is accessible to persons with disabilities. But then, of course, if we speak about infrastructure, because I know that from government side, in the past there was not a standard, to make sure that all buildings follow a certain type of physical accessibility. However, there is a standard in process which is being developed by the NDCN, National Disability Council of Namibia, and they, in collaboration with various stakeholders, they are busy putting that standard together. So the business, a sector that has disabilities.
What does the business culture look like in terms of employing people with disability?
I don't even just want to go into the business culture, but even if we look at public, from the public side, government, it's the employment status is, for people with disabilities is very low. Very, very low. Whether we look at the entrance level, middle, positions, and higher senior positions, you hardly find, persons with disabilities at those levels even employed. What I do see when I go to public buildings, institutions, I do see that government, yes, they're trying to employ persons with disabilities, but then mainly these lower level employment, cleaning, gardening, and inside cleaning and so forth. So there's definitely room for improvement, not just in terms of employing people, but also in how, their business model, how they're going to approach it. Are they putting certain policies in place? Are they really ensuring that, if they find a certain individual with a disability, are they willing to invest in that person, with training, with additional education, so that they can then also can move up. Not only this 100,000 not contributing to the economy, but those businesses. If they really consider leaving, if they don't even cater, towards certain needs of persons with disabilities, they're even losing out of making a profit. Because I remember that certain businesses who are more conscious about inclusivity, they argue that when they actually cater towards persons with disability, it's not only good for their business, it's not only good for the employees within their enterprises, but it also, of course, contributes towards them making a profit.
Exactly.
So, because they should also have their businesses targeting persons with disabilities. If you see that there's a niche, how can we serve them? Why not providing that niche? But I wanted to get to that. With regard to stigma, yes, there is definitely still a stigma with regard to disability. When we look at the languages that people are using, especially with us, our local vernacular languages, we do not consider persons with disabilities as subjects. So by the way we speak, we rather consider them as objects. So that is actually definitely contributes to more stigma, because you don't see the person, you just see the disability. So there's definitely a need to revisit or to revise our language, our terminologies, which we use when we are referring to persons with disabilities. So there is that stigma. But then, of course, stigma also within families. When they have a child with a disability, they would rather hide them. They don't want these kids to be seen, because of the stigma attached to it. Sometimes if they see that it's a person with a disability, of course, also depending on the severity of the disability,
of course,
they might think that those kids, or not even kids, but also adults, if they have a certain type of disability, they're useless. They're not contributing, financially towards anything. So that's where the stigma is attached. Also the perception of people, how they view disability, that also contributes to the stigma. So and also because of all this stigma attached to disability, also and at the end of the day, when people are looking for employment, they're also employers. They're also not very keen on employing persons with disabilities, because they might think, if our establishment doesn't have a ramp, for instance, if we employ this person who's using a wheelchair, we have to build a ramp.
Yeah.
And they think because they've never been confronted by disability or by the topic, they might think that it's so expensive. However, if they would just do a little bit of research, it's not expensive at all.
Okay. Rachel, thank you so much for your time and sharing this information that is needed to be known and raising awareness on this topic.
No, thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk about this important topic.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back shortly. And for today's life hack, you're 20% more likely to catch a cold while you're on a plane than anywhere else you'll go on vacation. To combat this fact, make sure to use hand sanitizer, stay hydrated, and use nasal sprays. Next up, Jeanette Diergaard for our Flex Minute.
Do you have back pain and you don't know why you have it? Well, perhaps start working on that core muscle, strengthen your core daily, try and do a few exercises for that core. You don't have to have a six-pack to be healthy, but you actually just want a bit of core strength. So we will be doing some hip lifts. So this is really the worst for me. So what you're doing is stacking up those legs and you're bringing it up. Okay, so up and down and up and down. Okay, so you're actually also working that lower back. You're pushing yourself up and up. You can, if you're struggling at first, use the momentum of your legs and go up. Okay, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you'll definitely feel that in your lower abs as well. So now we're gonna stretch ourselves out and come up. I want you to actually do some toe pulses. Try and reach for your toes while you're doing this. So you really gotta stretch it out. So this one is also another killer, but work on that core muscles, guys. And another thing, while you're doing your own thing every day, always remember to tuck in your core. Be ready when someone is trying to punch you in the gut, but that's just how prepared you should be. Not prepared, but actually how you should keep your core the whole day, and that will also improve a lot of things. I will see you guys next time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our show for today. I hope you had fun. I am going to start practicing my piano lessons again, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.